Hello guys, my name is Cheshire and today I'm going to teach you how to make a custom armor stand using a data pack from Vanilla Tweaks that allows you to make armor stands with custom poses, as we see in this village. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna go to vanillatweaks.net, click on data packs, and the first thing you'll see in the survival category would be armor statues. After you select this, all you have to do is click download. Now just click to expand this. If you're playing on single player, all you have to do is click on your world, click edit, click open world folder, and in the data packs folder, just drop armor statues in. Now, if you're playing on a server like I am, this data pack needs to be downloaded on the server side as well, so go ask your server owner for it. After you have downloaded the data pack, however, what you need to do is to get yourself a writable book. After which you have to write something on it, like anything. It is fine. The content doesn't matter, and you have to assign it statues, and you'll get it, the statue book. Now, if you haven't done so before, you'll have to do this. You have to type in function armor statues admin. So after you do that, you will be able to edit and to use your armor stands. I know that a lot of people think that armor stands are complicated, but they're actually really not, and I'll show you how to make basic postures using armor stands as I do. So the first thing you'll want to do is to prepare the armor stand. So normally what we do is we go to styles and we turn off the base plate, which is the plate underneath. We show its arms, and then we turn off gravity. So what gravity does is, let's see if I have a block. So what gravity does, for example, we have an armor stand here, and it's pretty much self-explanatory. Now gravity is just turned off, it's default turned off, and if we break this block here, it falls down. But if we turn gravity on, then it doesn't fall, which could be very useful if we want sort of floating things. Last time in season 7, Zombie Cleo made a floating Batman, and so we have to turn gravity off for stuff like that. So that's why we usually turn it off. We usually don't want it on. So after we adjust the styles, what we want to do is we go to pose adjust. I know there's a lot of pages before that. We got nudge, adjust rotation, presets, but what we really care about is just go to this one. Now we'll see 3 dimensions, X, Y, and Z. Let me show you. For example, here I decreased the X value, and as we can see here, X is up, down. It controls this movement, and Y is left and right. So Y minus, it goes to the left. Y plus, it goes to the right. And Z is clockwise and counterclockwise. So if we do that, it goes clockwise this way. If we plus it, it goes counterclockwise that way. That's really all there is to it, to armor stands. You think of the pose that you want to make, and you adjust it up, down, left, right, and clockwise and counterclockwise. The same thing applies for the limbs. For example, if we raise the right arm, it's raised, and we could, whoops, that's body. We could make it more towards that direction, and we could adjust the Z, which makes it rotate. Yeah. So so now let's make a simple statue. Let's demonstrate it by making something using this armor stand. What we got here is a little village, a little I wouldn't say medieval, but perhaps 19th, 20th century style European village here. And there's a little walkway, and let's say we want to make a person that is just going through a promenade, just meandering down the walkway. So probably more towards here. You'll see it in practice, you'll understand it. So let's put armor on it first. And we do the old trick. Styles, show baseplate, no. Show arms, yes. And apply gravity, no. And you see these other options, those are pretty much self-explanatory. You could go to your own world and try to mess with these options a little bit, and you'll get an understanding of what they imply. So I want him to be walking and perhaps looking up a bit. So let's just raise his head for a little bit. He could look a little bit that way. Yep. Yeah. Okay, and he's supposed to be walking. So let's just make him walk, I guess. As you would remember, the x-axis is the up down. So normally we could do that, and if we think it's too rotated, we could put it back. With armor stands, it's a lot of the time it's just doing it and then seeing how it looks like, and then adjusting the postures, and that's totally fine. So we move the arms opposite to the legs. And perhaps we turn the head a little bit more. Like more towards that direction, like he's looking towards a big pile of leaves here. And the body is going to turn a little bit with his movement of the head. So let's just do a bit of that. Yes. Now that looks okay. So now you're probably thinking that he's standing too close to the wall. His arm is glitching through the wall. And next, I'll show you how to fix that. So if you go to the nudge page, so what are all these numbers? Personally, I would encourage you to just ignore the first 3 lines, and only focus on this X and Z in the middle and the Y here. So what does relative aligned mean? So if we move it to negative X, it moves towards your left. If we move it towards positive X, it moves towards your right. And the numbers here, the 8s and 3s and 1s, are the little pixels that it moves. Like when you see a block, it has 16 pixels on a Minecraft block, and it indicates the number of tiny pixels that you want the armor stand to move. And this Z is negative Z is back from you, and positive Z is towards you. Now, what the Y does is positive will move to relative exact in this case, and positive Y rises the armor stand, and negative Y puts it back, like lowers the armor stand. So that is how you nudge it, and if you think the center of the block is too boring, or if you want to put it somewhere specific, you could do that using the nudge function. So now we're just gonna bring it forward a little bit, perhaps a little bit more. Okay, I think that that position is pretty much okay. I gotta sleep first, or baddies will spawn, and I wouldn't like that. I wouldn't appreciate that at all. Okay. So now it's looking pretty good. What we're gonna do next is, if you think you want it to be pointing somewhere in specific, you could go to this pointing, and if you point toward, it would point the armor stand towards you. You could stand somewhere and click pointing toward, and that would change the orientation of the armor stand. That is the basics, the very basics for armor stands. And using what you learned, you would be able to make a easy walking pose like this. Of course, there is a lot more to making armor stands than the simple things that I just showed you. But there are too many things to be covered. And if you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to tell me in the comments, and I will make another video, a follow-up, discussing the more complicated techniques of making armor stands. And I'll share some more tips and tricks, I guess. But that's all for this video. Thank you for being here, and see you next time.